Hello YouTube, hello, and we're back. Of course we are. And I know, a little bit weird, I don't have an infinite stage on the background, or infinite du jour playing in the background either. Very weird. But today we're going to be talking about EWC. And we're going to be talking about Zubair specifically. Because, what the hell happened? What happened? The thing is, crazy plays from Zubair. And I don't think a lot of people even understand what actually happened. What made him play so good? So I'm going to be here to explain a little bit of that. A little bit. Some sort of an analysis, basically, of the games. But only the top 8 matches. I could have done others as well, but it would have taken way too long. So let's start. The first match was against Raef's Fahkumram. And he picked Paul because this is important. That they already played before in LCQ. And Paul worked really well because Paul beat him. Paul beat Raef last time. And that's why Paul and not the Dragunov. But he later switched. Thing about the Paul is that Paul is good against Fahkumram. Well, not good, but can be decent, because Power Crush gives you a very good reward because of a death fist damage being like 40 something, and automatic sidestep also being very useful, and both of them are useful against the 3 and down forward 1 pressure, especially because there are 10 mind games after it. And having those options can be very good, especially they're easy options. Right? Okay, let's actually watch. There's a clip that I have. I just want you guys to watch this first before I continue. So just watch this.
The low. Again, guess, just keep guessing.
Or Jack King and K. Paul wants to step left.
This is jabs to interrupt though. MYK 30 seconds still.
Follow the jabs into the evasive shoulder.
This is so close. I feel like Raef's just gonna throw something out potentially, and he gets.
So what I wanted to show you guys there is the importance of the evasive shoulder. That evasive shoulder changes the mind games of a lot of situations in this matchup. A lot of situations. Obviously, it's still very risky to do, especially since it gets beaten by a jet kick, I think. I'm not too sure, it might. But the thing is, it's a very important option, but I also want you guys to pay attention to how he was guessing there. Like, for example,
Paul wants to step left.
In this situation, he ducked after the 3, right? He ducked a little bit, and he actually committed to the duck slightly, and then stood up. That's a 3 mind game when you're trying to duck the 1 and then instantly stand up. But the thing about the 3 also is very important, that you're supposed to jab this. You see that one too? Thing about the 3 is that you are supposed to interrupt this if they don't finish the high and they want to go for continuations of the strings, like 3 cancels, 3-4 cancels. If they don't do a 3-1 or 3-4, you're supposed to mash this. But the mashing window that you have here, if you want to be very optimal, you have 11 frames. Because if you do not do 11 frames or do something slower, you're going to get hit by the delayed high tracking move that hurts hell. It hurts like hell. It hurts a lot. So the 1-2, very intentional stuff. And this is also very important. So Paul, I already explained, and you guys watch this as well, why it's so good. And the 1-2 I already explained. Now let's go to Dragunov. Now Dragunov, he switched after a few games because Paul wasn't working as well as it was. And he switched to Dragunov. And Dragunov, if you guys remember, I explained that there's an 11 frame window in between 3. And it's the same with down forward 1 if you want to challenge that move. Right? If you want to be optimal about it. And we all know Dragunov has one of the best challenging moves in the form of a 1-2-1. So let me just show you this clip as well. Show you guys this clip. Watch it.
I can't even speak.
Crowd's getting crazy. They want it. Interrupt the mid follow-up.
So close there. Raef, you need to be really careful here.
Mid.
Nice damage afterwards as well. More plus frames.
All 3.
I already showed you guys what I wanted to show. So basically what happened there, by the way, is how I explained how it's very important to mash. He did it twice there. You have to still guess more or less. You can't only do one thing. But it's also important to do this because Fahkumram players will get away with literal murder if you don't do this. But it's also important to have good reward on it. That's why Dragunov's 1-2-1 is so good. So let me just go back and show you guys again on exactly what happened here. Right?
Sent it on whip.
Man, I can only make noises at this.
Just show you guys again.
It's crazy. I can't even speak.
So he blocked this heat burst. Instantly blocked it.
Crazy. They want
1-2 check, whatever. But this down forward 1 is what's important. After this down forward 1, he did a 1-2-1. As I said, you have an 11 frame window after a 3 or a down forward 1 if you want to interrupt it. If you do anything slower, you might get countered and it's not going to be a fun time. So that's why Dragunov's 1-2-1 is so damn good here. Not only that, he heat confirmed it, right? He didn't use his heat dash. Amazing. But he didn't do it just once. He actually did it again.
The mid follow-up.
So close there.
Like this down forward 1. Again.
Raef, you need to be.
That wasn't a down forward. That was down forward 2. Down forward 2. The down forward 2, he tried to 1-to-1 again, most likely. To be fair, even I got confused on down forward 1. But, yeah. Basically, the 1-to-1 is very, very important. He tried to do the 1-to-1 again. Even in this situation. 1-to-1 is just, in general, a very strong move. But especially in this matchup, it was very, very important. Because if you want the Fahkumram player to stop just mashing buttons and just, you know, praying that something's gonna work, you have to have a good reward on your 11 frame interrupt. And Paul, as you guys saw, I showed you guys as well, only had a 1-2. 1-2 is nothing. Compared to Dragunov's 1-2-1, it's nothing. Like, if you want a good interrupt, a G-clef, like even Lars 1-1-1, or even Law G-clef, that's a 4-hit G-clef, does a lot of damage. Anything like that can work really, really well. If you have an 11-framer move, even that will work, but it's just important to interrupt this, because if you don't, you're gonna get pressured to death. Because everything Fahkumram does is either safe, plus, or worse, some lows, or even worse, lows that are plus that make tracking possible after, whatever, right? Fahkumram, dumb character. But yeah, let's go next. So this is what happened here in the Dragunov match. This was just very, very important, and obviously, I mean that Zubair knew the matchup pretty well. That's why he was doing the 1-2-1s. Sometimes he was committing to the duck because of the delayed high. Sometimes he was fuzzing the high. He was basically doing a lot of anti-Fahkumram stuff. And I mean a lot. When you watch the match and you pay attention, you will know. You will know. Now let's go on to the next one. Next one, he was playing against Arslan. And against Arslan's Nina, they already played before and he won. And he just knows the matchup really, really well. And I want to show you guys a clip here as well that showcases how well he actually does know this matchup. Because this, you will never see. You will almost never see this. But he did it instantly. So, just look at this clip. Wait 1 second.
Definitely the lows have been the tail of the game and them reading them from both sides.
Yup. It's like, how do I open each other?
So this, what happened here is something that almost never happens. Very, very rare. Right? This hasn't happened before in the set. Hasn't happened before. So what happened here is that move...
The lows have been the tail of the game and them reading...
This high right here, that high, I think it's FF2. Kinda treat it, or FF1, I forget. Kinda treat it as what's the move? QCB1 of Bryan's. Kind of treat it like that. It's a mini QCB1 that goes into a stance, and the frame trap option for Nina is this one, which is the QCF1.
Yup.
This one. That's the frame trap option. But Zubair already knew this and preemptively ducked the frame trap option, was ready for it, and ducked it. I just wanted to showcase this about how good he actually knows this matchup. And he knows what to do against it. You don't need to see stuff like this. He just read it and predicted that he was going to go for the frame trap and ducked it, because that's a counterplay to it. That would track, by the way, the one there. You can't really sidestep it because we're playing Tekken 8. So, yeah, great duck there, great read, and an amazing punish. Also, a little bit of an extra. Zubair's combos were extremely optimal. Extremely optimal. He was very good at them. Sometimes he would drop them, just like everyone. We're all human. But very, very optimal combos. Now, next was against Zafina. Zafina, he actually surprised me by a lot because he played crazy. He had to play really, really well to play against the Zafina because this matchup is absolutely atrocious. So, let me just show you guys this clip.
I want Pakistan to win, but I want to win too.
Yeah.
Arslan
So all these mix-ups.
The LCQ winner cannot lose this round.
Arslan going all in.
All in on Chip, and he's still got plenty of heat. Zubair has to do something big.
Okay, running slide.
Looking for him to get up. Ooh, dash.
Burst.
All of this.
In Arslan's favor. What's he gonna do with it? Try to smash. Nice dunk. High smash. He called it out.
Now, why did I show you guys such a big clip? I wanted to showcase something that's very, very important at the start. Now, the last thing, that was insane. Right? This last part, this was him literally reading Arslan's heat smash.
Dash.
Whenever he did this down forward 4 into back 2 like that,
Burst.
I'm pretty sure the moment he got hit by the heat burst, he was reading the heat smash. Because the heat smash is an easy thing to do here, and it would also kill him.
In Arslan's favor.
So did a back 2 while standing one check and insta-ducked, just insta-ducked the heat smash, which is a 12-frame heat smash, by the way. This is very hard to duck. Very, very hard to duck. And very hard to duck and punish. And he instantly punished it. So this was a super, super sick read on the heat smash, which makes him super aware of the options that his opponent has, obviously. Right, but well, how about the first part I just showed you guys? The first part I showed you guys, I just wanted you guys to be aware that every time
Pakistan to win, but I want to win.
he got mixed up here, like after that 1-3 punish, he got mixed. This was a mix-up, right? Plus rank mid mix-up.
Two.
Into another mix-up. That was a low, he just guessed wrong.
Arslan
He
won.
guessed again, guessed wrong again, into a mid. I think he tried to sidestep. He got hit, because you can't sidestep for a Zafina. Fun fact, you can't sidestep, everything tracks. And down forward 1, another mix-up, right? This mid mix-up. He was guessing for his life every single time in every single interaction against Zafina, because that's what Zafina does. And Dragunov has a hard time dealing with this because his moves can't really hit. And the Zafina also gets a lot of free buttons against the Dragunov, like 1-4 is just free. So, wall running 3 plus, right? This is mix-up. And the mix-up is between a normal hit launching mid that tracks both sides and a plus 20 low. It might be more, maybe plus 23. So this is the plus 20 low. He tried to match, but you don't have the frames. I think if he did the mid, he would have the frames, maybe. Maybe. I'm not too sure what he matched, most likely 1-1. But yeah, he can't beat that. Now, again, the same thing happened, and of course, he couldn't do anything because he was minus 20. He just stood there and he had to eat another wall running 3. Into another mix-up. Oh, now you're in minus 20 again, by the way. Pure mix-up. And now you're forced to just stand there and eat it again. And Arslan just decided to go for a mid there, so finally Zubair could breathe. Finally, he could breathe a little bit. But also, remember, this is the tracking, normal hit launching, safe mid I talked about. That also has pushback. And he checked after with down forward 1 because of that. So it's not punishable, and he just checked with a down forward 1. Didn't really get much, but he got breathing room. That's why I wanted to showcase the situation that he was dealing with. Zubair was guessing for his life a lot. And he was staying safe. He was staying safe and composed. That's what was very important for him to actually win the matches against Zafina. Because this was a very, very losable match, and it was very easy to lose this. Very easy. And Zafina, this matchup is just horrible. Horrendous matchup. So, yeah, this is the Zafina. Now let's go to Bryan, which is the Grand Finals. The Grand Finals, this was crazy. This was like absolutely insane Grand Finals. And the way Zubair was playing basically demonstrated how good he could play 1 against Bryan, and he could play Dragunov, those two. So, unlike against Zafina, he actually could press buttons, because Zafina can evade any button he has, but against Bryan, he doesn't have to worry about it too much. But what's very important here are 2 things. The way he played was that he did not let Bryan go into mid-range. He stayed close range as much as possible, abused the biggest strength, one of the biggest strengths Dragunov has, which is very fast pokes that could check very easily, that's also not that steppable, that has millions of mind games at the same time, and use that to be very close range and to not let Bryan abuse his strength at mid-range, because Bryan at mid-range can just spam QCP1s and just mix them up to QCP F1+2s, and you don't want to deal with that, right? So what he was doing, let me just show you guys the clip, which is a perfect demonstration of what I was talking about.
Back from Zubair.
He is in hot pursuit, and he has the need for speed. Zubair, but with the back two, while standing forward, adjusting his timing a little bit too, making it really difficult for Lowhigh to get a read.
Man, he is picking my guy apart right now.
The mid-low mix right now, in conjunction with the jab strings and the salvo.
Oh my God, he missed the 4-4-2. The down 4-1 again on the wall. My man is jammed up. And traffic's not letting up. Zubair's running all the cars on the highway, and one more.
So that right there, everything that happened right there was a perfect example of what I just said. He did not even let Bryan go into mid-range. He did not want to deal with QCB1s. Not even a single time, he didn't want to. Not only was he punishing really well, he was punishing every single back 4, which is -10, which is hard to punish sometimes, because of the pushback. But he was punishing them because he believed and knew that it was going to work, the 1-3s. Right? And it worked. He was punishing every single back 4. Almost every single one. Amazing. Also, you guys have to pay attention that every single poke that he was doing a sidestep right. He was also sometimes doing a sidestep right duck. Maybe not here, but he was doing either a sidestep right or a sidestep right duck, and he was always expecting something to whiff. Especially he was expecting 1-2s. A lot of 1-2s can be thrown out in these situations against Bryans because that's their panic tool. They just 1-2-1 or 1-2-4. Just like a Dragunov player with the 1-2 as well. But unlike Dragunov's 1-2, 1-2 of Bryans is a double high. The last one's the mid. So the second mid also doesn't track, unlike Dragunov's 1-2. So that is a very, very good counterplay by staying close, baiting the 1-2, decides the right ducks against it, and then just not letting Bryan play ever his mid-range game. You don't even have to worry about hatchets because of that, by the way. Because if you don't let Bryan go into mid-range, you don't have to worry about hatchets too much, or QCP1s, or QCF 1+2s. Of course, not every character can do this. Only Dragunov can do something like this, or maybe some other character, maybe Nina, I'm not too sure, right? But yeah, the kind of character you need to play for this to happen needs to be someone like Dragunov. And Dragunov obviously was utilized very well by Zubair here. And this is basically what happened the whole Grand Finals. The whole Grand Finals, this is what was happening. Zubair was just going close range, poking as much as possible, sidestep right, ducking after it, mixing up his options, doing down forward 1, sidestep right duck, or down forward 1, down forward 1, or down forward 1, 1, 2. This is what it's called to mix up your options, by the way. You don't need a low. If you play mind games correctly, you do down forward 1, sidestep 1, 2, and confirm 1, 2 instantly. If the opponent's Bryan does 1, 2, 1, you're going to counter hit into 1, 2, 1 wall splat, let's say. Do a down forward 1, you don't even need to do the 4, you do another 1, 2, 1, or down forward 1 into down forward 1. And now the Bryan player is thinking, what should I even do? The 1, 2 is not working because I said right duck. My forward 3 might get insta sidestep, so I'm just going to get punished. My back 4 maybe won't work unless I delay my timing. If I delay my timing, I might get hit by instant timing because it's just doing down forward 1 to down forward 1, or back 2 into back 2, or back 2 into wall standing 4, or back 2 1, or back 2 into full crouch mix. And there's so many mind games going on in these little interactions that it's very hard for Bryan to actually, get away from this. Unless he realizes what's happening really, really quickly and adjusts also really, really quickly, which is very difficult to do in this situation for Bryan, especially in this kind of stage, right? Especially in this kind of stage. But yeah, this was a little bit of an analysis of what actually happened. At least what I think that happened. If you want to know what actually happened, you have to ask Zubair, the GOAT, the legend himself. But this is what I think that happened, and the things that were happening and the mind games that were going on. If you guys like this kind of analysis, I think this is the first time I'm doing something like this, most likely anyway. If you guys like an analysis like this for like some tournament matches or matches in general, let me know. Maybe I'll do more. And yeah. Big thanks for watching. Till next time.